What's up, fearless girls? It's your fearless girls leader, Dr. T. How are you all doing tonight? It is good to have you on. Good, great, godly Friday evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to those in advance who are watching the replay. It's always great to have you watch, even if you didn't have time to watch us live. That's all good, though. And you know what? You can still share it. You can still tag some people. And I am confident that, listen, tonight, you definitely want to tag all your friends. Tag all your friends. You know what? Just share it on your timeline and just tell everybody, hey, check this out. And I want you to get some feedback from people because I really think tonight's going to be super dope. But I just want to say good evening to you all once again. I'm so excited about the things we have going on. And let me tell you, this past Monday, we celebrated Galentine's Day. We celebrated Galentine's Day. And listen, all I can say is one word: wow. It was incredible. We came together, we celebrated womanhood. And you know, our theme for this month is learning to love yourself first. Learning to love yourself first. Somebody put that in the timeline. It was only fitting, of course, for this same subject to be the theme of our Galentine's Day party. And let me tell you, we just had an absolute blast. We really did. And it was just so much fun. The decorations were amazing. Speaking of that, I'll tell you what, can I get a redo on that entry mocktail? Because that entry mocktail that the team made was absolutely so delish. It really was, but we had a great time. We really, really did. It was so much fun. It was just so much fun. And speaking of that, I just want to say everything was absolutely perfect. It was absolutely perfect. It was. We just, celebrating womanhood is just something that cannot be overstated, but it was just really good. And you guys can still see that I'm just still basking in the fun that we had with it. But like I said, I think everything was just perfect. And a big thank you to Elements of Sophistication. You saw a little bit of the decorations there. Elements of Sophistication, they always make sure all of our affairs are first class. They have a first class touch, so shout out there. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not shout out my trophy husband. He made sure that his wife had everything that she needed to have an incredible party. And so I definitely say shout out to Dr. James White. He is the absolute best. And, and then I definitely would just say in short, the entire Fearless Girls exec team, I love you all. You pulled off an incredible event. But it was just, yeah, like I said, it was a wow. And if you weren't there, I can just tell you that you really, really missed a good one. You really, really did miss a good one. That's right. So last week, our subject was, This is About You. Somebody put that in the timeline. We talked about it being all about you. Remember, our theme this month is learning to love yourself first. And last week I was like all dramatic. I came on with no makeup on and all this good stuff. But we talked about finding space to love yourself. You got to find the space to love you. And I gave a few affirmations. I hope you are incorporating those affirmations into your regular routine, because without self-love, you will never love others effectively. This is why you got to learn how to love yourself. And last week, I also asked you to write down 3 things that you're good at. Yep, that was your homework. If you're bold, if you're brave, how about you put at least one in the timeline right now? Be bold, be brave, be fearless. Put one of the things that you know you're good at in the timeline, at least one. You can put others, because I just need you to be able to talk about yourself, especially when you hear today's nugget, when you know what our nugget subject is for today. So listen, if you didn't do the assignment, it's cram time. You remember back in school when you used to do your homework right in the classroom, hopefully before the teacher started. Well, here's your chance to do your cram work. So write down 3 things, or just put 3, put at least one in the timeline. Maybe you didn't write it down, but really quick, I still want you to write those things down. Write down a few things that you're good at, because you need to have a record of it. Yeah, it'll be a record here on our timeline, but you need a personal record of it too. And let me just tell you, no thing is too big and no thing is too small. If you're good at it, you might as well say it. It could be something super small. So what? But you're good at it. It can be something super big, but you're good at it. So I want you to write it down. For those who actually did write your stuff down, I simply have like a little question for you. Once you started, how did it feel constructing your list? And I want you to kind of put some kind of feedback in the timeline, because you're helping other fearless girls become more fearless, because we have different emotions that we experience when we begin to do something like this. Depending on where your confidence level is, or even where you are thinking in the moment. It may take something, and it's going to cause an emotion. It's going to either cause you happiness, it's going to cause you confusion, it's going to cause you embarrassment, it may cause you shame, but it may cause you, all bubbly inside. There's a myriad of emotions that we can experience. But I want you to really kind of think about that, and that's why I want you to kind of share some of the emotions you were feeling when you began to construct your list. And then once you started, did it become easier or did it become more difficult? Give us some feedback there in the timeline about that as well. How does it feel for you to simply speak well of yourself? I believe that this assignment, like I said a second ago, is a great segue into today's nugget. And that's why your feedback is really important. And I love talking about this because it's actually a huge part of my own personal testimony. All right, let me just kind of share it with you like this. Well, should I give you today's nugget name yet? Nah, we're good. So, but I love talking about this, like I said, because it's a part of my testimony. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I know that is so hard to believe that I did not have a lot of self-confidence, but I didn't. You see me now, you see me with the spiked hair, the makeup, and the flash. You may not think I ever had a problem. Well, I did. I had a lot of issues with my own self-confidence growing up. I did not think that I was pretty. I really kind of felt a little clumsy. It seemed like I was telling my husband the other day how there were a couple of things that it was like they were going to happen every year, and they were very traumatic for me. I shared with some of the ladies at the Galentine's party that I didn't realize until I was like really recently that as a child I had food trauma. All of these are subjects we'll have to talk about at a different time, but just know this was where I was, and I didn't feel like there was anything special about me. So, I felt inadequate. It seemed like every other girl around me seemed to have the full package, seemed to be okay, seemed to be pretty, seemed to like themselves. And to me, basically, it just seemed like all of the other females and the girls around me, they had an it factor, and I felt like I did not have one. I felt like I was the only one, in fact, that was left out. If this resonates with you, share a little bit in the timeline about it, because I want people to know. I know I wasn't alone, but I know that this was clearly how I felt. And it just seemed to me that everybody also knew that I was inadequate. And then it felt like I was treated like I was inadequate in a lot of places. In fact, I remember constantly trying to protect myself because I grew up in an era where light skin and being black was a problem. So, I had to learn how to become tough really quick. And I really believe that that's a part of many of you have heard me talk about the fact that I'm not a real girly girl, but I'm all chick. And I had to grow up and learn how to be tough. And I had to learn how to do it quickly. And I got to tell you all, my brother also helped me with that because, my big brother thought that I was his experimental subject when he had something he wanted to try. I was his guinea pig when, he wanted to, try his martial arts moves after watching a Bruce Lee movie. I think my brother thought I was his personal torture slave, but it helped me become tough. Shout out to my brother. I love him. But anyway, long story short, because this is a nugget, I got to keep this short. Let me help myself here. Okay, but it took me years to discover who I am. And while I may not have the talents that other people have, it took me years to realize the talents that I did have were not trash. So today's nugget is titled Based on My Discovery. And here it is. Your title for tonight is You're Something Like a Big Deal. Yes, put it in the timeline. Every time I say it, it just excites me. Because you are something like a big deal. It took me years to discover the fact that I am something like a big deal. Put it in the timeline. I'm something like a big deal. And I want to tell you that you can't let self-doubt steal your shine. Don't let self-doubt steal your shine. Don't let inexperience cause you to miss out on adventure. There are so many things that when we have these areas and these pockets of inadequacy, we forget that we're a big deal. And just because you have weaknesses, welcome to the club. We all do. Maybe you're not a ventriloquist, but you enunciate well. So don't be so focused on the fact that you can't talk without moving your mouth that you don't realize you enunciate well. You gotta find your strength. You may not be a gymnast, but that doesn't mean that you're not athletic. So, my inability to draw does not kill my creativity. You have to see that even with the shortcomings that you see about yourself, you feel about yourself, you are still something like a big deal. I want you to get this thing down on the inside. Oftentimes, we are so focused on what we can't do that we miss the opportunities in terms of what we can do. Somebody put in the timeline, hashtag I can do it, hashtag I can do it. I gotta hurry up. So here are your 3 nuggets with your something like a big deal. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to expand your capacity. Expand your capacity, get this, to believe in you. You are something like a big deal. And where you're good, you're good. Be good there. Then I want you to enhance your skill set. You enhance the skill set that you have and become a master at the skills you do have, and don't let the things that you want to do but you may not do well cause you not to expand what you do well. Finally, number 3 is you got to emphasize where you're good. Be okay with talking about the fact that you're good where you're good. If you're a good cook, say, I can burn. If you're athletic, you better say you can burn. Like many of you have heard me talk about being a volleyball player. But I discovered becoming a volleyball, I discovered my talent in volleyball, get this, because I got cut from the cheerleading team. So I was a cheerleader for like, I think I was in the 7th grade, and I was a cheerleader for my 7th grade year, but I had some things happen that hurt my confidence. So when I tried out the next year, I did not try out with confidence, and I got cut. When I got cut, I still wanted to do something, so I went to play volleyball, and I became all city in volleyball. To this day, I don't play volleyball with certain people because I'm too competitive and it hurts people's feelings. So I hope you get that. You put some emphasis where you're good. Emphasize what you are good at and know how to stay in your lane. So I was an okay cheerleader, but I was a great volleyball player. So I stay in my lane. So I could do all of the things with cheering, get this, except for flips. And because I did not like doing flips, it caused me to hurt my confidence in cheering across the board. But now I know how to stay in my lane and play volleyball. I hope y'all get this. All right, let me say it like this. I may not be a master at mathematics, but I'm a big deal when it comes to reading. So what I do, when I learned who I am, then I learned how to take the areas in which I may need more skill, and I learned how to shore those up with people and put people around me who were good in those areas. So when you learn who you are in the areas in which you are skilled, you will learn how to staff your weaknesses. I hope you got that. Now notice I didn't say hide them. I said staff them, because what you're going to do is you're going to surround yourself with people who help make you amazing. So just because you're not great at mathematics doesn't mean that you can't put somebody on your team who is good at it, and you're still going to look amazing. Why? Because no one person has ever achieved greatness alone, but you're still something like a big deal. If you don't see yourself as great, you never will be. So you are something like a big deal. Put it in a timeline one more time. I'm something like a big deal. Nobody has your fingerprint. Nobody has your face, and nobody has your future. Even if you are a twin, no matter what, there's something different about you. Learning how to love you, it's going to make you stronger, and you are going to be able to move forward and do it fearlessly. So, hey, listen, I got to go. I'm out of time. But before I go, I definitely want to invite you to become a monthly partner of Fearless Girls. Can I ask you to become a monthly partner of Fearless Girls? The first thing you can do, you can go to wearefearlessgirls.com, go to our website, click on the monthly supporter button, and you can do it that way. Or you can just sow your seed. We have several different ways in which you can become a monthly supporter. You can use our Givelify. You can use our Cash App. And I want you to become a monthly supporter, because our mission to expand, educate, and empower women, we're just getting started in this thing. We are, and I don't want you to miss an opportunity to be a part of it. So take some time, go ahead, set that up. Let's do something incredible together, because your monthly support will help women find their voice, and I want you to find your voice. I love it. So you can go to our website, do it. You can do the Cash App, but definitely take some time and make a commitment to become a monthly supporter. Thank you so much in advance. We can make a difference with your help. All right, ladies, you are something like a big deal. Of course, you know, as I always say, girls with dreams, they become women with vision. See you next time.